Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and last night I sat down to watch the late kick with Josh Pate. Those of you who aren't familiar with Josh Pate, love what he does on YouTube. Works with the guys over at 24/7 Sports, but he does a segment on his show called The Mood Tracker, and it's where he checks in on certain fan bases and kind of gets the pulse of how that fan base is feeling. Last night just so happened to be Tennessee, so we're going to take a look at some of his comments and go through those and make some discussion about that. But as always, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. If you would hit that little thumbs up, it's free, it's quick, it's easy. If you enjoy the content here, that's a nice little thank you, so we would appreciate that. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts, we're not insiders, we are fans just like you. So if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe, click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop new content. But let's jump into some of these comments from Josh Pate. He basically described battered VAWL syndrome without knowing it was called battered VAWL syndrome. But let's go through some of the comments here.
So if you take a can of soda or a bottle of soda and you shake that thing up, one of two things is about to happen. Either when you twist that top off, it's going to go all over the place, or it's going to, because you find out you got flat soda in your hand. Now, there's a lot of anticipation, and there's a lot of guarded excitement around the Tennessee program right now. That's exactly how I'd feel. You know, if I lived in Diana, Tennessee, right off 65, underrated rail town there in Diana. If I lived in Diana, Tennessee, and I was a Tennessee fan, I'd feel that way. That's exactly how I'd feel. But I wouldn't have 100% confidence on what's going to happen if/when we twist that top off. We're 1 year in. We're right around 1 year since Josh Heupel got hired and Mike White, the athletic director's there. Even in the midst of a rebuild, we don't know what their version of Tennessee fully is going to look like. We have some good sneak previews as to what it's going to look like. I'm a big believer they overachieved in 2021. To be perfectly clear, you know, they had 2 or 3 more close losses, but they won 7 games. And I really think, for proper context, we need to go back. Like on VAWLS 24/7, those guys have done a really good job of doing sort of a 1-year checkup on the program. And they talked about where they were this time last year and then going into spring and coming out of spring. I think some people have forgotten this, though.
First of all, we all know it's Danny White, but we'll forgive Josh Pate for that. But I like the comments there. So many people in this fan base, I feel like their expectations shift as we move throughout the season. Go back to where we were. That's what Josh Pate just said there. Go back, look where we were, who we lost, where this football team was when Josh Heupel came in just a year ago. And yet we start to move through the season, and as he said, agree. And again, that's why I'm playing these clips, because I agree Josh Pate is spot on with where this fan base is at, but this football team overachieved getting to 7 wins. And I felt like as we moved into the bowl game, obviously that was a disappointment, losing that game to Purdue. All of a sudden, it's like the guy from, what is it, the water boy? Oh no, we suck again. All of a sudden, this program feels like it's been deflated, but I feel like the expectations constantly shift. And sometimes we need to stay dialed in, realize where this program is at, where we came from, and not let our expectations shift too much. Moving into 2022, a lot of people are going to take my words and twist them when I say that this team can win 10 games. When I look at the schedule and I say I see a possibility of 10 wins, that doesn't mean that is my expectation. My expectation is for this team to continue to develop, continue to add depth. 6 to 8 wins, I'm going to be happy. My way too early prediction is probably 8-4. But when I look at the schedule, I see a possibility for 10 wins. Let's hear more from Josh Pate.
We're seeing progression offensively. That alone is one of the most refreshing things to say about Tennessee football. Think about the last time, if you're a Tennessee Volunteer fan, that you could lay your head on your pillow at night and know that even amidst all the uncertainty elsewhere in the program, and we still got the whole NCAA thing out there, we don't know how that's going to pan out, but at least I know one thing. I know my quarterback's in good hands tonight, and I know my offense is in good hands tonight, and I know that we are in the process of putting a product on the field that skill, perimeter talent, and quarterbacks are going to want to come and play for. It's been a long time since any of us, myself included, have been able to say that. But there are other positives to consider here. Tennessee's a long way from a finished product. But there are other positives to consider. They lost a lot to the portal, but they also got a lot out of the portal last year, and virtually every one of those guys contributed. Now, some of that was out of necessity, but it also signifies they did a heck of a job evaluating guys in the portal versus their needs, and they got some really good pieces that helped them immediately. How are they going to do moving forward in the portal?
Our quarterback is in good hands tonight, that's for sure. And what he said there, what quarterbacks, perimeter players, they're going to want to come play in this offense, like VAWLS Jones, the quote we always throw out from him. What wide receiver would not want to play in this offense? And when you look at the class of 22, the guys that they're bringing in, Taven Jackson, Justin Williams, 4-star running back, Caleb Webb, 4-star wide receiver, Cameron Miller, Squirrel White. Josh Heupel has done a good job in the class of 22 recruiting offensive players. The question mark, the big question mark hanging over his head, is he going to be able to recruit defensive players? Is that going to make or break Josh Heupel at the University of Tennessee? We've seen the skill players. The big question mark is going into the transfer portal. What is Josh Heupel going to be able to do once we get through spring and into summer? We're going to see if all the rumors out there from the guys like Jason Swain, from the guys like VAWLS saying that Tennessee is going to make some moves. They have these big NIL deals in place, top 10 NIL program. We're going to see if all that plays out in the summer. And if it does, then Josh Heupel very well may be the guy.
Now, just because Tennessee hasn't been something for a long time doesn't mean the program lost the capability to be that. I have never believed that. And so it's going to be real fun because this is a program, if you were putting a spotlight on a program in the Southeastern Conference this spring, I don't know, outside of Florida, because there's just a whole bunch of new down there, I don't know that there's going to be a more fun/interesting program to watch than Tennessee, because there's so many different ways that this can still go. And I was over on the VAWLS 24/7 board today, and I was asking, what's your mood right now? And a lot of those guys and girls over there were saying the same thing. There's optimism, but none of them are so ignorant to believe, what, we're out of the woods. 7 wins last year will equal 10 wins this year, will equal SEC championship or bust in 2023. No one's talking like that. This is Tennessee. They've learned the lessons over and over and over again. So that's one of the more jaded fan bases. So it's very hard. It is very hard to get them fired up. Some of them are, but they're going about it the right way. They understand.
That's the definition. He is giving us the definition of battered Vol syndrome. We are a jaded fan base. We've been there. We've done that. That's why the jury is still out on Josh Heupel. Overachieved in year one, 7 wins, great first season. Added some nice pieces in the class of 22, top 15 class, top 10, depending on where you look at with updated rankings. But going back to the very first clip of Josh Pate that I posted, when you open that coat, does it fizz or is it flat? Because we've been here, done that. We've done it with Butch Jones. Butch Jones was so close a couple of times, but he never could cross the finish line. We saw some flash with Jeremy Pruitt. Some of us were starting to buy in and believe that second year, the winning streak to end the season, going into 2020. A lot of us were excited. And what an absolute dud of a head coach. I think the jury is still out on Josh Heupel. What is your mood? That's the mood tracker from Josh Pate. Again, late kick, Josh Pate over at 24/7. Encourage you guys to go check it out. I love the show. What is your mood? What's your expectation for 2022? Because Josh Heupel just explained battered Vol syndrome without, maybe didn't even know what it was. But that's where I feel like we are at as a fan base. We see some excitement. We like Josh Heupel. He's a great guy. We like the family atmosphere. Is he going to be able to recruit on defense? Are the NIL deals going to start to roll in this summer? We're excited. We're passionate. But there's always that little bit of doubt in the back of our mind, and that is battered Vol syndrome. If you have not done so yet, please smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Also, you can support the channel by picking up the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network. Just go over to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Any and all support greatly appreciated. We've got the State Pride logo merchandise, baseball merch, flat bill hats, toboggans, everything you could possibly want. Again, bonfire.com/store/Talkin facebook.com/TalkinVols. But as always, hit that comment section and let me know, what is your mood? This is the Talkin' Vols version of the mood tracker. Hit that comment section and let me know. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.